Okay. That's my bad. I'm calling this meeting to order. Today is March 16th. It is 2 p.m. We are calling to order the Ogden Valley City Council meeting it's a work session meeting for Monday, March 16th. We are hosting it live in our anchor area, which is the Huntsville Town Hall. We are also available live via Zoom for participation as well, or for public recording. And just for a quick roll call, present today we have Councilmember Hickman, Councilmember Shaw, Councilmember Duling-Baker, Councilmember Hoagland. I'm Mayor Wampler. We also have in the room today our treasurer, our city recorder, and our IT director. And with that, and I believe, well, we'll call when Councilmember Booth joins. We'll make note in the recording of the time he joins us. So for right now, let's go ahead and anyone who's capable, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we will follow that with a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, we will begin our meeting as we do with each of our sessions with a planning update. I don't believe Chad has logged on yet, has he?
He was in the team, but I don't think I'm the Zoom, so maybe he'll be here in a moment.
Perfect. If we want to give him just a second to log in. I know he often has Peggy give it, but just in case.
Sure. And then where you want to go?
If he's coming on quickly, otherwise.
I did not see an update from Brian. Did he send one?
Just came, just dropped,
Okay.
so you should have it all. Sorry, it's late.
That you'll update us since we're getting ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just briefly. I'll have to go back after we review this and I'll send it to you, Tia, and anyone else that didn't get it.
Yeah, will you let us know if he's on, otherwise I'll have Peggy start with the planning update.
Not yet,
Just to save time, Peggy, would you mind giving me an update?
not at all. Would you like to hear about the planning commission or the overall work of the planner and our planning?
Oh, no, this particular portion of the agenda is always regarding the moratorium.
Planning commission, okay, so let's take a look at that. He has given us an update. So their last meeting was 3/10/26. Major actions involved reviewing the general plan, the contents, and incorporated commission comments and finalized it for public review. They reviewed the zoning maps, finalized it for public review. They reviewed the proposed changes to AV3, FV3, and language and the zoning language to go with those.
FR2.
You know, I don't see it here. I thought it was.
It was too.
Yes.
Just, I'm only saying because I was in the meeting. So
Yeah.
FR3, which they are proposing to change the name to HR, but it's FR3 as far as people are aware. That is also been forwarded as well as the general plan.
Right, and to let you know what HR is, it's hillside residential.
Yeah.
Is what they're thinking is more appropriate than forest residential.
Yes.
So.
And they reviewed the mobile home.
That one did not
That
get forwarded.
comes with,
It did not?
That did not get forwarded, but sorry, I don't want to step on Jesse.
that's what, right, clarify.
So the only thing moving forward, which there was
The only thing,
there's a public notice
Yeah.
that went out to everybody.
it did
is-
not move forward.
It is not moving forward. They did look to rezone that land. That's part of the zoning map that went forward. So there is no mobile home park
Ordinance.
ordinance or
Right.
zone. But
The
there's
zoning remap is going forward.
so the things that move forward and have been now publicly noticed in mail, website, and everything else are zoning map, general plan, AV3, FB3, FR3, which is if we adopt it as such, will be known as HR.
Right.
Thank you. Okay.
Hillside residential. So there were documents that were posted on the website for all those with summaries, so you have them. Some of the confusion this morning and many of the emails that I received and sent were that it was all in one document. So you had to scroll through 122 pages to get to zones and maps and different issues. So this morning, we got the links to the separate documents. So going forward, if anyone emails you, or you email your list of folks who you know, let them know that those 5 links, as soon as Kathy has a minute, is going to get those on there. So people can look at the zoning map separately than the general plan, separately than FB3, etc.
You
So-
said on the website,
Yes.
on our website,
Yes.
and it's live now.
Well, my understanding was,
You're saying it.
yeah, my understanding from our last meeting was even though it was not perfect, we wanted to push it up. So it's out there, it's not perfect, but it's good.
But it's live and that's what we're using.
It's live, and the real, or the address, we had some confusion because we moved from one web address to another. So the official address, Kathy,
Ogdenvalley.gov.
ogdenvalley.gov. No more,
There's a lot of Kathys here.
orgs, no more orgs, no more homes, no more anything. So we got it to one address. And it's a little clunky, but one address, if you'd like to go there now,
I'm there.
you're there.
Yeah, you gotta take care of that.
And I don't know if you can put it up there quickly, Kathy,
Sorry, she's.
because it's important you know how to help people get to these documents. As our first time, we loaded them, we had some corrections to make, so there'll be some things. So if we take a look,
Okay, I'll need those same ones for the Ogden's website.
yes. Yes, we had the offsets. But you didn't put that in. So I don't think.
When I get ogdenvalley.gov, it's coming soon. Is that what you're
You
getting?
can go to the links, like you can.
Well, I wish I could, but I can't. So we'll see what I'm doing wrong when she.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that is,
Your best to go.
when I type in ogdenvalley.gov, that is not what I get.
This is what we should get with ogdenvalley.gov. Notice the new picture.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm getting when I type in ogdenvalley.gov. I might need to clear that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, once you get here, when you talk to your constituents and your residents, once you get here, you go up to news and events and then down to public notice of hearings. And from there, all of the public notices are listed. So we go all the way down to the bottom of the page and we'll see the public notice for the planning commission hearing. Now, last night, in
Is
the
that
middle of
where
the
the
night,
packet, my links are?
oh, sorry, keep going. And that's where we're gonna put, Kathy, that's the place we're gonna put all 5 links soon. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Can I back up? Did you say news and events?
Yes.
There's an events calendar, is that where I'm going?
Nope, you're going to the public meetings notice. But I had an idea that we should change that heading to public notices, and then as you click down, it's planning commission, city council, so they're separated. We'll work on these.
That makes sense to me.
things. Yeah,
There should
Okay.
be pages for each.
yes,
So we're gonna have multiple links.
right. So we're gonna get there with the help of everybody.
And you said the links are going to be there?
Yes, right now you can get to, oh, we lost it. Right now you can get to it from public notice. Did you get there, Tina?
No.
Are the links to the documents going to be there? Are they there? now?
But again, it was where it separates the 5 original documents instead of just one packet.
Right, if I click on download meeting packet, I get 170 pages. You're given, in the future, soon, will be, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I make the comment that you might
One
want to
second,
make that
we start
easier?
a smaller conversation.
Because there might be people interested and they have to go down through here and down through there and down through there. You might want to make in your planning map, put a zoning map or, right at the front, so you don't have to go through the minutes.
Gotcha,
Make it easier to find.
gotcha. Yeah, these are things we're working on, so to make it user friendly. So yes, we're gonna change the headings and we'll look at the most efficient way to do that. But Right now, the documents there, 122 pages that you have to scroll through. Soon, it'll be broken apart. I wanted to send something to Ian and couldn't. Oh, this is what the postcard looks like.
Yes,
Chad joined the meeting.
okay, thank you, I just.
So, okay, that was a little sideline away from the planning commission, but I wanted you to know, because people will be emailing or calling and wanting to know how to get there. Okay, so, any other questions?
Not about the website.
Okay, good. Now,
Yeah, no, we're not talking, yeah, that was a side note, but we're
Side.
talking about the moratorium, like,
Right.
and that's
the
the,
next, they recommended rezone of the gravel to AB3. It says here they recommended the rezone of form base back to the original zones that were there, FV3 or AV3. And there was a recommendation to rezone RMH 16 to CBR. That's the most.
That's the one I was asking.
So I don't, those weren't released for public yet, I don't believe. It doesn't say they were released for public comment. Only the ones that we mentioned in this postcard.
so,
FR,
and there's another recommendation of a rezone.
oh, okay, I missed it then.
They recommended a number of properties in District 5 that are currently, I don't remember if it was FB or FR, I think it's FB. That they recommend changing to AV3. All of those people should have received a separate notice or letter in the mail. If you haven't by Tuesday, because I believe the last time I heard that would be probably like, you know, the postcard that came out, I got on Saturday, which is super fast. But I think the other one is an actual letter going with an actual letter stamp. So that might take till Tuesday, but there was a notice, which is a state statute, that is sent to the property owners of the properties, and that would include people that are in District 5 that they recommended a change to.
And as long as we're right here, I'll come back to the planning commission real quick if Chad doesn't want to jump in. As long as we're here, there are two ways to comment for folks. One is we started the planning at ogdenvalleyutah.org email that folks can send in their comments that are, if they want to write, you know, a whole email. They're going to myself, Kathy, I believe you, and Brian. Brian has, thank you,
No, I'm just.
let me just finish this again. So Brian is gonna summarize all those comments and bring them to the planning commission. If you would like the summary too, I think that can be shared, you know. Just go to the planning.
It goes on public record,
Okay,
it's part of the minutes.
so if you wanna look at it, it'll be part of the minutes for the planning commission, that's the right way to say that. Okay.
Are we using the new email as well?
What,
.gov.
.gov?
Then I will have to defer to Kathy.
Yeah, they all work.
they all work,
They all.
so depending on whatever's been posted publicly is what people will probably use.
Okay.
Well, I was just wondering if we're using it now, we send out new documents, we want to put that instead of ogden.ut.org.
On this planning one, I don't know.
That one's already out,
Yeah.
but today, forward communications, we should change everything to the .gov of every communication, including our own emails and whatever, everything that gets sent to org will still come to our .gov, but we should be pushing forward.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Going forward, good point. Okay, the next meeting is Tuesday and tomorrow. And they are gonna review and discuss edits to definitions, review and discuss edits to design standards, review and discuss edits to signs. So that is the packet preparation is finalizing for distribution on Monday and modifications on the definition sign standards. And Brian is pushing out staff recommendations now to the planning commission for them to review on those things, so. Yep, so that kind of wraps it up. I just have a few other things, if I may, and Chad, if you don't mind, me jumping in here. They are really working hard, this planning commission, just like we are, you know, they're working hard and continually to make this happen and try to follow the timeline. They just want to make sure you understand that this is fluid a little bit. They're trying to stick with the schedule, but based on discussions, based on public feedback, that may or may not change. So just know these are internal working documents. They need to have for them to stay on track. So please know that. Another thing they wanted to share in my conversations and trying to support them is due to the public hearing, the planning commission might need extra meetings because the public hearing may take up their whole meeting. So they want to know, and I couldn't find it on the Utah Public Notice site, can they add other meetings to, without it, just notice is the only requirement, the 24-hour notice?
But for what, for their meeting or
For a hearing is 10 days, a meeting is 24 hours.
Because the hearing may eat up some of their work time, they would like to add a work session or other work time. So I couldn't find any, I don't know if that's called a special meeting, I don't know if that's an emergency.
So anything not part of the publicly noticed regular meeting schedule.
That
You
we-
publish at Tuesday meetings, there are 2 of them that were published, but anything outside of that is a special meeting, period, stop. Done.
Okay,
So, and it has its own public noticing requirements, which are, we have Sharon knows backwards and forwards, I have them right in front of me. But that would be a special meeting, and they can add those with a 24-hour notice anytime they wish, but we should make sure the room is available and halfway.
working with Sharon and we'll make sure that room is available. And they may have, just so you know, if they need it, they may have to add in some special meetings to get the work done. They're committed, they want to do this in a timeline, they understand the urgency as much as we do. And they're working to help their communities that they're part of. So that was one thing. The other thing I'd like to bring up about the planning commission and something that may start happening down the road. As they do these things and get them passed, they're a little concerned about the timeline to roll them out to lift them from the moratorium. Because if they're still working on land use ordinances and they start getting permit requests, there's gonna be a lot of chaos there. So we really have to think about what the good timing would be to help them navigate that.
Understood.
Okay, so that's one concern I have as we move forward.
Understood,
Yeah.
I can talk you through some, because there's a process, they won't come to, applications have a process before they come in front of the planning commission. So it's not like we roll something back and boom, they're in front of them the next day.
Right,
They're in front of Ryan,
right, which is,
but.
we got a plan for it.
So, right, but so I can talk with you and update you on how that all works outside of the 6-person work session meeting.
But I just want everyone to know that's gonna add a layer of complication to their work, so that's also there. Let's see. The rest is just what they're gonna do next in the zones, and I reviewed that, the definitions, the design standards and the signs are working on.
Can I just, because you brought up this request about a public hearing and if they need to also add these. I just want to remind you so that if you're talking with them, at least for this public hearing on the 24th, the only thing on the agenda is the public hearing. So even if no one shows up, it is not, you can't just say, well, let's use this time for a meeting because they didn't put that into the agenda. You only can stick to the agenda. So if in the future they want to have the ability to have a hearing and a meeting, both must be in the agenda.
Oh, okay, I'll double check that. I thought we had some other things in to review, so I will double check that and work with them and make sure we all come on the same process.
So, and then I just want to tag on for our team. These drafts of what they are putting forward for public hearing are now live for everyone in the valley to read, and that includes the city council. And my request as mayor is you start reading them now.
Yeah.
So anything that comes up in the public hearing, if they wish to make changes, that's fine, but you will have already started reading them so that it's not fresh and new and we're not full back another week or so. Start reading them now, get familiar, think about what your comments or things might be, because we have the ability, once they fully direct a positive motion forward, which would happen after the hearing, if they don't go back and make changes, we have the ability to meet to adjudicate on that specifically. If we wish to make any changes or whatever, we can do that, but rather than wait longer. So please start reading that. Now. Yes, sir.
A request and a question. The request is, once you have them individually linked, can you send us all a note with the links?
Well,
I'm quite capable of going through 172 pages.
it's tough.
Thank you.
It's tough, and there are summaries in
Yeah.
there that changes, the general plan is redlined, there's good stuff in there that we need to know, especially for the zones that you represent. You know, E is a big one, so a lot.
So once it goes live, please let us know on an email now and send us the link. So the question, and Peggy or Chad, you may not know the answer. Looking at the schedule that Brian's built for the planning commission and for us. Review sufficient of the documents and what I'm pondering is it's because I will ask our council, have you reviewed this? Is it legally, internally coherent, sufficient, whatever legally that means? And are the totality of them legally complementary to each other? So, and I would expect our council to review and answer that question. We're talking our ordinances.
All the recommendations.
So we the five of us. I am asking have we baked into it, our attorney?
Council can.
Yes. Our attorney, I will say attorney or barrister instead. Have we baked into the schedule time for the barrister or the attorneys to do their review of, to make sure that the documents that we ultimately vote on are legally sound, whatever that means. The only attorney here is hey. But if not, I think we need to look at that because.
Corbin is attending all the meetings. I think that's a great question for him.
Right, so I'm asking you to pass that on to Corbin, and if not, then we need to bake that into our schedule. Because I would prefer that we are handed documents that the attorney has said, I have reviewed, it is good, whatever good means. Now, we decide what the words are ultimately, but he needs to say legally, it's coherent, complementary, whatever the.
Get the recommendation, because you do it after me. I don't know.
I can promise you, he hasn't reviewed these.
So,
That's why I'm asking this. But and I don't.
so we need
Yeah.
some.
I submit amongst the five of us, we want him to do it before it lands on our doorstep. I don't disagree. I'm not going to tell
Corbin.
I would not suggest to the planning commission how to do their job. They have access to Corbin as well. But for us, I want to make sure that the attorneys have done their job before it comes to us, so that we know it's legally.
This should be a Corbin question.
So I'm asking you to pass it on.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
good question. Okay, so, and unless there's any other questions, or Chad, if there's anything you'd like to add?
No, can you guys hear me okay?
Like Kathy, if you had, I can jump for that.
Kathy, you were raising your hand while I was talking.
So.
Okay, my bad.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Did you have your hand up? You wanted to speak?
Can you hear me okay?
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you now, Don. It kind of goes in and out, so, but no, I guess my two things there is, Don, did you receive the request you asked me for as far as the general plan this morning?
I got your email, yes. But the
Okay.
general will be publicly also linked. Yep. Yes, Chad, thank you.
Yeah, and I think just going forward, we just need to have that process down so that when those are requested, we can get those to everyone that's, needs to have those. And then Peggy, thank you. That was a perfect summary of everything. I don't have anything more to add to it, so thanks.
Absolutely. Okay, any other thoughts?
Nope. Okay, moving forward. All right, agenda item 3 is a discussion, if needed, on the consent item. So everybody was given on Friday the minutes of February 17th, 23rd, and March 3rd to review. as well as the page on new business licenses. I put this, and I will be putting in the future, consent items on the Monday prior, so that if discussion needs to be had, there's time to make any changes before the meeting. That way, when it comes to the meeting, consent is up or down. So with that, anybody have anything they needed to change or any comments about the minutes? There are 3 of them, or the new business list.
Just typos, which I will provide, sure.
Perfect. Anything?
You need to.
No, I was look at it. I was good with them.
Everybody's good, so there will be no need for discussion tomorrow.
No.
Okay. All right, Chad, anything from you on the minutes or the business licenses?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay.
The business licenses, Tia and I had some questions. We're gonna work it out kind of behind,
Do you want to bring that up?
Just that going forward, when we get short-term rental business licenses, we need to make sure we have the unit number with them.
Yeah.
You know, just because you're in a development and
Yeah, that's a
you
good
need to
point.
have, so we'll work with the planners to make sure we have certain things in place.
Okay. No, that's good.
It might have just been an omission, but we're gonna work through having it in there.
Good, yeah. And my guess would be Iris is doing whatever she's done in the past, but it may or may not be what we need.
Right.
That's perfect. Thank you for that. Okay, so nothing, so everybody's good with that. All right, moving on. Next agenda item is a verbal update on the animal control interlocal agreement. I say verbal update because the contract itself is no different than what you received in a previous meeting when we tabled it. So you guys have had it, you've read it. But we tabled it because there were financial questions we needed answered, and I wanted to make sure everyone in the city council was updated on the answers we received. So, do somebody want to lead it, or I can take it? Do you want to lead it, Stuart?
Yeah.
Gently?
Jointly.
I think it's gently, I was like,
It's
I don't think it's a controversial thing.
and gently considering the animals involved.
Okay, Tia, this is your department.
So Kay and I had a call with Siri this morning.
This morning, okay.
So when you and I talked about it, I had contacted Siri and I asked her some questions. I sent Kay the fee schedule and, what we're really trying to find out is what it's gonna cost the city, not what it'll cost the customers to go down to.
And Siri defers to, help me with the financial person's name. Steffi, they call her Steph. And so we have a message into staff just to check whether her estimate that was given some months ago still holds. Also, I found that some of the questions I had about clarification of the fee schedule could be attributable to the drafting. The way it was referenced, and so I have called and left a message for the attorney in the Weber County Attorney's Office who has drafted this, just to make clear we don't have duplicative fees. And also, I think it's important to understand what is happening with other communities, cities who are also adopting this. Just to see, what issues or concerns they may have raised as well. This is a pretty straightforward agreement, other than the fees not being particularly clear. There's also a challenge because there are a set of fees charged to adoptees, adopters, and people using the services. We are interested in what is charged to the city, so that's the one we're pursuing.
Okay. Have you gotten any answers?
Not yet. We have questions posed. And so I will diligently pursue this conversation with the attorney. Because I'm afraid Siri defers to others in terms of the amounts.
No, I understand. Where we left off last time was that we had specific financial questions. When I had a call with you, my understanding was we got the answers to those questions except for a bond question. Then we got, there was an email from Siri saying this contract is specific to the 2013 fee schedule. But there was still an unanswered question about a bond and things like that. So I put it back on the agenda to move forward because we have gotten those answers. It sounds like now those answers are actually back in question. So should I consider potentially that we will be removing or tabling if we don't have those questions answered by tomorrow?
It is a possibility if we don't hear from those two parties.
Just want to make sure I was clear. Okay. All right, well then we'll find out if we get those answers and we'll update you on whether we'll table it again or move forward. So we can move forward with our agenda, and that goes to Dawn. Item number 6 on today's agenda is the monthly, which is the February monthly, 2026 road report from our roads,
Public Works Department.
Public Works Department.
Kathy's pulling up the spreadsheet. So
It's crazy to follow.
everybody has a link to it. Kathy, if you go to the summary, which is the first tab. Okay, she'll zoom in, but bottom line on the pie chart is we've committed to $2,097,500 worth of roads work in calendar year 26. The blue is what has been obligated to date, spent by
Calendar year 26, got it, okay.
I very deliberately
I
said
know,
calendar.
but I'm making sure my brain, because I was like, okay, yeah,
These what stopping?
calendar year 26, got it.
So go to, that's how much we've spent. Technically, we haven't spent. Roads Department has done work. Go to the February A&M tab. Lots of data here. The bottom line is $112,344.44 was expensed. Things of interest, you'll see North Ogden Divide in the lower left, not snow plowing in North Ogden Divide. Can you zoom in just a tish, Kathy? I don't know if you can or not. There we go. So here's how much we spent on snow removal, 38,740. What were there, 2 days, maybe 3 days? What I want to footstone there is if we had a normal snow year, and if they were plowing 2 weeks, 3 weeks a month, that's where the money's gonna go. We're not gonna have a bunch of money left over for potholes and new gravel and new whatever. North Ogden Divide, those of you who use it, is that OVC total 4,988. So the way they're calculating our cost to North Ogden Divide is they have the total amount the county does, and they divide it by the miles that are ours. That's how they're doing it. So we only spent 113,000. We spent 140,000 first time, so we're ahead of the game, so to speak. So we'll be able to do more roads maintenance in the summer months.
I just have one question, trying to understand that, and I don't know anything about how they budgeted. But I noticed that the second largest dollar amount was for miscellaneous. Can you help me? What kind of tasks are?
Can we find miscellaneous in there?
I just don't know what those are.
He's gonna ask them.
Well, I can't answer all the details on what they've got miscellaneous.
Right here, line 19.
Yeah, it's, well, miscellaneous is how they're tracking the actual hours of driving those trucks. So,
So those are worker hours that we're doing, probably.
well, they're truck hours.
Okay.
For example, 116 hours of driving a dump truck total, which that stuff is hauling the salt, that stuff's hauling the sand, it might be hauling asphalt, that's what those are.
Okay, thank you.
The segue from this is Matt Crump, our deputy engineer, and Jared Klontz, who's the roads manager who knows our valley. He's our dude out here, are going out Thursday morning to drive the southern half of the city, all the roads. I may or may not jump in the truck with them. Last 2 weeks ago, they drove the northern half. So they went all over Eden Liberty on Thursday. Out of that will come Matt's draft calendar 2026 roads maintenance plan that I will share with us sometime in April once engineering's looked at it. So of the amount of that $2,097,500 minus money obligated to date will be a plan to spend against the highest priority, the next highest priority, the next, till we run out of money. Held in reserve will be an amount of money for snow plowing in November, December, this calendar year, and an emergency little bit. And then we will get to decide, yea, verily, this is the plan, or do we want to move things around? Tia, to your questions on North Ogden Divide about signage and whatever, I've asked the sheriff and the roads department to look for next year mostly, because I don't think it's gonna snow again. Can we do the signage a little different? Should we put cones and things out? And what I know is the roads department does put cones out when they close it, or they say they do. I'll believe them that they do. The last time it was closed was the sheriff, and the sheriff doesn't have cones and flags and whatever in his vehicle to do that. So I'm working with Lieutenant Krieger on ideas so that whatever is done to close North Ogden Divide, to flip the sign down, it's consistent. So that next year when we get into snow season, it'll be obvious to the citizens what's going on.
So they know, you know, just,
Yeah,
they know what to look for.
right, and we'll get the word out again, but in theory, there's three entities that can close the road. The sheriff's for public safety, the roads department for public safety, and I would argue that 6 of us could close the road if we felt for public safety we needed to. And what we want to have is a standard way of doing it that I anticipate having next fall.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Any questions about roads?
Great, update.
All right. Thank you, Kathy, for showing the spreadsheet.
All right, next on the agenda, number 7 is an update on impact fees. We've got a number of people working on this. Who would like to start?
I will start. There are, 2 layers, at least 2 layers of impact fee consideration. The first is accrued impact fees that are in trust bank accounts held by Weaver County. So, we recently received an email from Weaver County attributing those impact fees, which are close to 2 million, as I saw this morning, into various buckets of impact fees. Trails, roads, what else?
Storm grants, it's a storm grants.
And so, we are going to commence discussion about whether those need to remain with Weaver County or make sense administratively to remain with Weaver County. Or alternatively, whether those should be transferred to Ogden Valley City, again, to remain in special segregated accounts dedicated to those impact fee matters. So that's layer 1, which is retrospective housekeeping, who holds the money. The second is currently impact fees for existing developments that are subject to a development agreement, as well as for eventually, when the moratorium is lifted, brand new developments that might be reviewed and approved. And so we are researching legally questions about the simple carryover of the Weaver County impact fee ordinances and plans. And help me with the IFFP. I have dyslexia. And so, you know, those studies are still, you know, how can I say, we are still within the lifetime of those studies. They are still valid temporally. However, with the incorporation of the new city, it begs the question, especially with respect to those approved developments, whether those studies in fact carry over. The development agreements freeze in time, so to speak, the ordinances and conditions in effect at the time of the approval. So it makes perfect sense that those will move over along with the obligations under the development agreement. And secondarily, for new items, we are studying the applicability of the prior Weaver County IPPF. And also the option of needing to update it into our own. So that is where we are with impact fees. We are working it. Last week we had a number of calls, this week, even today, we have further calls going forward.
Yes.
I believe as I was reading through the Weaver County Code, they have to update their fee schedules every June. I know that puts us in a weird place time-wise, but is there some way where we wouldn't have to update, but we could borrowed their.
That's what we're looking into.
Yeah, the fundamental question
Okay,
is,
so-
can we legally use theirs in some fashion going forward?
Right, but I thought I heard Kay say, or do our own, and then we
Because
hope that
if
we
we
don't
can't
have
do that, then we have to do our own.
Okay,
And these things take time and they cost a lot of money.
that's why I'd rather not do it.
Correct.
So we're working with attorney, not counsel, counsel, to get the answer to the question, because from it branches our path. We don't know the path yet.
So,
Hopefully, we can save money and use the counties in some fashion. We'll know sometime next couple days, hopefully.
does that make sense? Everybody, this is
The
exactly.
county's new study and updated, not for the past developments, I understand that.
Well, but we need to know that too.
Yeah, so
So-
we need to know the new study in June.
Well, the question of the day is, can we even use what exists right now going forward?
Right.
So if we can, then in theory, we could.
Then,
Yeah, our attorney needs to explain the legal framework we set into us.
We strongly believe there's carryover.
We don't see, yep.
So.
Okay.
That's
the
impact
It's,
fees.
it's a very important and, critical thing right now, and we are working with attorneys to know exactly the letter of the law, and we will keep updating as we are updated. Anything else about that?
Mm-mm.
Alright, so number 8. Update on in-house permitting and inspections, I believe it's the same team.
I'll take the lead on that one. So as we discussed last week, Kay and I are taking the lead on that. We've got the draft RFP that's ready to go on the street. Sherry, Kay and I developed it. We're going to announce it to a state of Utah website. Do you remember the name of the website? It's what the state of Utah uses.
The procurement was.
Right, and Sherry has got us, our Ogden Valley City access to said public RFP noticing website. So we've got a very aggressive timeline on it. We were giving the respondents 1 week to ask questions. We're gonna answer the questions within a couple days. And then final proposals within 2 weeks. And we're pushing this because we want to be able to get to us for a decision preferably, but at least discussion at the first meeting in April. Why? Because we feel that we need to be exceptionally diligent but speedy on getting our own organic permitting and inspection capability in place. So you all should see, and if anybody wants to be on the committee with Kay and I, let us know. But we should have 1 or more respondents, interested parties within a week.
so there were none on the state website approved vendors.
They're actually.
There are, but our procurement policy requires us to issue an RFP.
Even though they're state approved.
Actually,
It's the right of ours.
Sherry, on Sherry's advice, and I absolutely agree. It's beneficial to leave a window open to get some bids, just to competitive bids, so we have comparisons. And can be cost competitive on making the decision. So it's not going to extend the timeline significantly. It's a real balance of making sure we get some perspective of what the cost would be from at least more than one vendor. And we do know one vendor that we will likely be interested in is on the state website. So that's good, that vendor is already approved.
So there we go. Stay tuned.
Alright, okay, that is the end of that. Next thing on the agenda. Our council member comments. I usually give about 5 minutes each if anybody has anything they need to update or question they need to ask. So we'll go in order of districts. I'll start in District 1, Councilmember Tia Shaw. Do you have anything you wish to share?
I have, just, Peggy and I talked about a business license that was requested by Ogden Valley Church, and wondering if that's the place for it to be on our business page, or if we need another page on our website for like community services
Sorry, so this isn't about a business license, this is about whether it goes on the
on
website.
the website.
Got it. Because the pages, I believe, businesses
Right,
separate, okay.
so a church requested to be put on that page.
Anybody have any feelings about whether they should or shouldn't? I mean, as much.
Just, the reality is, from a First Amendment, perspective, if one religious institution requests and is granted, any other type of religious request for a posting would also need to be treated equally and posted.
Mhm.
And it's similar to a discussion we had previously of, the First Amendment issues surrounding opening with a prayer. And we made a really responsible decision given similar considerations. So that is simply, it's not illegal, you just have to be prepared to grant other requests, principally, basically on the same basis that you have extended that space on our public website to one church.
So, I could probably make this really easy, but it's just a suggestion, and that is that the local businesses, the resource for businesses. I wouldn't necessarily, I mean, churches are tax exempt because they're not
Right.
businesses,
Right.
so I would keep that to actual businesses.
Right.
But set on a separate page, which you mentioned, I would actually include churches, schools, so that anyone coming to the valley knows. Right, services, so these are the schools that are in the valley, these are the churches in the valley, this is where the post offices are in the valley. And that's a separate page.
Right,
And
and that's what I
I
was
think that that's probably the best.
is something like that.
Are we be in favor of that?
Yeah.
Where are you gonna deal with the other nonprofits? Are they gonna be businesses or a separate?
Well, that was my question too,
Yeah.
about other nonprofits.
Well, don't make it hard, but either put them under businesses, they are a business, they're just nonprofit making it. So you might put them under there, create a third, fourth, fifth category of nonprofits.
Good question.
Essentially, you will be making it into a community billboard.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they are located here or operate here, I think we should facilitate communicating they exist.
I think a nonprofit on the same page as the businesses, but subcategory nonprofit is a good one.
I'll let you guys figure it out, but do,
I will help. It would be very wise for us to have guidelines. This is what is required to qualify for being posted on that site.
Right, because on my end, like I talked with Peggy and I said, some of these businesses that are requesting, I don't see a business license.
Okay.
So
We have, yeah.
we've had that discussion, so making sure they have business licenses that we're putting on our website, you know.
yes, but there you go, I, yeah, if they're not licensed.
Well.
With a
hold on,
minor
slow
caveat,
down,
with a
because
minor
there's-
caveat.
I would say, because we've had this discussion and it's also about legalities, so there are certain businesses that are not required to have a
Right.
license.
But whatever those criteria are, they have to meet the criteria.
Which suggests that too should give guidelines just in writing, so there's no dispute as to why one is allowed and one is not.
We do have a link, we've adopted by our municipal code, Weaver County's business licensing
Right,
code.
yes.
I don't know if it speaks to this, but we can modify our municipal code however we want.
It does, I think I read it in there, so we can go by that because we did adopt it. So, yes, and the second thing is, OBPSA, Peggy and I have both been contacted by a board member who wants to meet with us. And kind of get into what's going on with OBPSA. We both feel like, it's not an us issue right now for the city to get involved in. This person was wanting to know how they could move forward productively, they missed some grant opportunities. And wanted to meet with us on getting our perspective on it. And so Peggy and I just felt like,
The city has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, and to give any, we can't say anything, I mean, it's not our body, we're not the body politics, so I'm very, it's not that we don't wanna talk to them. I just don't know if it's appropriate to meet with
To give
them.
them or
Yeah, say that you
perspective.
we'd only listen, and I don't know. So if anyone else gets approached, I mean, I don't want to, I wanna have a good relationship, but there's, all I could say at the last meeting was whatever your attorneys recommend. You know, follow what your attorney says. So that was awkward. So we're just thinking we might not accept the invitation at this time.
But what invitation?
They invite
She
me
wanted
to
to
meet
meet
with
with both of us.
Oh, I see.
So, and I've met with her once, and I don't wanna be standoffish, but unless you have any other recommendations.
I would have them contact Commissioner Harvey, he's the person in charge of Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
He's literally the one in charge.
that's what we'll do.
Yep. So, that'll be all right. Next, that's it, District 2?
Oh, we have been working so hard on the website, trying to point it out, getting things on it. It will come together. So just know, tell your folks we're working through it. So everything should be on there. And as I mentioned before, the separate documents should be linked separately. We got that today. We will send it out to you. The second thing is naming committee, and the naming advisory committee is just waiting for Weaver State right now. We went through and organized the mailer. We went through and organized what we want to see on the survey and offered them to Weaver State for them to look at, and we're just waiting to hear back. We kind of have a timeline that may be flexible, but we're hoping to get it out the week after Easter and get it out to the public. So we're hoping to have it by then. I know, Weaver State is in their last semester and it's winding down, so I'm sure everyone's busy there. So we're gonna wait a couple of weeks and get it out. There's really not a pressing hurry to do it. So we want to do it right. So that's the other thing that's coming down the pipe. Other than that, just planning and land use issues.
What's the first? Anything from you?
Sure. Demonstrating our rich collaboration, I'm working with Peggy and Kathy on the website. And resident Ron Gleason and I have both provided some robust updates. I focused on content and simplification a bit, pictures, other items. Ron's focused on usability, user interface, and you also had some comments from one or two other people, I think.
Yeah, we send it out to folks to beta test and we got a list of comments for them.
So that is underway, working with Dawn, of course, on permits and
I'd like to put a plug in here though.
sure,
We do need content, folks. We need what's going on, updates that we can write on the
We're talking the website or the
website. Well, both that, you can divert it both ways.
so content will be sent to you. At this point, probably shifted over because Peggy worked with the IT side and she's very sad to probably turn the baby over as it becomes toddler to the content, to the communication side. So for the time being, I'd send it to both, but we're in the transition so that it will be a more content driven piece versus the tech piece. Speaking of content, I'm looking at the Fresh Off the Press March 15th edition of the Ogden Valley News, and I think 50% or more of the articles are from Ogden Valley City authors. So I appreciate the input on those, and fortunately, I think we had a high level of accuracy and right on target description. Even as these things were evolving, we were getting the articles to the newspaper, notices, public meetings, etc. So I will continue to let you know when we have deadlines. Jeannie, the editor and publisher, has sent out an email about an upcoming issue, but generally I can work with any bullets or drafts that you'd like to submit the weekend before that issue comes out. So Jeannie said, I think there's an April 1st edition about to come out. Back that up and get things to me by the weekend, and then I can get them in shape for Jeannie. So we aren't having close and excited conversations as she's running to press. So that will be helpful.
So mark your calendars and your planners, put it in there the week before the paper comes out. Article says it is.
Yeah.
And please keep those emails to internal at K rather than copying Jeannie or anything like that, it causes confusion.
Yes.
Anything else in District 3?
Oh, FYI, for those of you who would like to come, who might not be in District 3, I'm having a so-called fireside and a town hall Wednesday at 6 p.m. at Peddlers.
Town Hall Wednesday at 6 p.m. For District 3. Anything else in District 3?
That's it.
Chad, are you still there? District 4?
Yeah, I am. And really, the only thing I have is we continue to get a lot of citizen questions via email, phone, face-to-face, and so forth. And I just want to make sure that we're continuing to address those. And if there's any issues that you're hearing, to please let myself and Peggy and Brian, whomever needs to deal with those, to try to stay on top of those and deal with those in a timely manner. There's a lot coming through, and I just want to make sure that everyone is getting taken care of on those.
Okay. That's it? District 5?
District 5 Town Hall this Thursday is whatever it is, 19th, here at the library. So colleagues, if you have anything in your portfolios that you think I should mention in District 5, or I'll speak for Kate for District 3, please give them to us. I'm excited to announce, Betty, that the website is live.
Yeah.
Clunky, but.
Well, I'm not worried about clunky, it's live. So if there's something that you feel that I should say, please get it to me. Kay knows. What's that?
The public hearing is in changes in your District 5.
Oh, yeah, yes. We don't have a claims against us policy, meaning small claims, roads department has run over a mailbox type stuff.
Allegedly.
He was making up a scenario.
I was making up a scenario.
Okay.
So Kate, I've asked Kate to begin looking into this. Ironically, yes, there's an alleged roads department ran over a mailbox in District 1. So for Kate, we are gonna need a policy, we're gonna need something in the code to tell us how to go about doing these things while I follow up on what actually happened with the incident. Excavation permits, digging. When you were asked by citizens, point them at Nate Smith. Engineering at, or Nate Smith at, point them right there, don't point them at me, you can, but I'm gonna point them at Nate. So point them straight at Nate.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's busy now, it's going to get busier. If you see people digging where they shouldn't dig, point them at Nate,
Okay.
okay?
So code enforcement, that's Nate.
It may or may not be code enforcement. If they're digging, it's an excavation, well, if they're digging in the private right of ways, it may be different. If they're digging in our public right of ways, our city streets, our Chevy trails, that's us, Nate. If somebody is digging on their own property, that's their property, they can do what they wanna do. Caveat the moratorium.
I'm referring to Mr. Michelle in a situation where someone was digging on his property. When I was contacted, I connected him with code
Should have
enforcement.
been me, it should have been Nate. Should have been
Okay,
Nate.
that's my question.
Excavation, things getting dug is Nate.
Okay. All right.
Things getting dug is Nate.
And that was responded to very quickly.
Yeah, I was there. I personally met with Mr. Michelle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that was taken care of. I didn't,
What?
I returned
It's
the
not
call
taken
today.
care of.
That-
I returned the
well,
call today.
break. It's not on a public right of way,
Yes.
so it may or may not be our responsibility. We are helping him understand who did what, and I have communication right now that we now know. So we're helping the citizen find out who illegally probably trespassed onto his property and done. But when there's questions about people digging, go to me or to Matt.
I have a related question in a couple of contexts, residents have had the question about what is happening if someone they believe has done something on their property without a permit? Does Weaver County still handle the lack of permit work?
I can tell you up to this point, if they have called me, Weaver County, and they have said, I saw this building and they don't have, I know they don't have a permit. So when I talked to Stan about this issue a couple of weeks ago, they were still going out and addressing it. For now, I believe once we have a code enforcement person in place, that may be a different route, but until we do, then
Is that, like, they're doing it out of courtesy, that's very kind.
they are doing
That,
that.
I just wanna make
Well,
a mention, that
yeah,
that's very kind of them.
yeah.
Well, but we also paid for their inspection services in that ILA.
Yeah,
That ILA is
Yes.
permitting and inspection.
yes, but they're willing to do this
Yes, they
piece,
are,
even though
yeah.
they know there's no permit.
Right.
So they're shutting it down, it's a
Right.
stop work order
Right.
in this situation, so Stan said a couple weeks ago, they'll still do it, but I don't know how long we can impose on that.
Please do me a favor, make sure you express our appreciation.
Oh, I have, yes, and I will continue to.
So. Okay,
Gita was stuck.
You had a question?
No, I just wondered about the code enforcement update on that. What's going on with that?
Well, we interviewed another person who looked very, oh, sorry.
go ahead and answer.
Well, you were in, are you District 5 done?
No, answer the question. Go ahead and answer the question.
And we just got another lead over the weekend, so he just texted me and I'm gonna meet today and then we'll do an interview. I'll do a pretty kind of just meet and then we'll do an interview. It's a person that lives in the valley, and so I'm interested in talking to them. But Kay and I will need to interview them because we're gonna be together too. So we'll stay together as a team to make that decision.
So just, I'm sorry, Don, to add on to that, because these business licenses would go through a code enforcement.
Good to know.
Is that right?
They could.
If they don't have a bit, well, SPRs and different things.
Because that's what Iris is for the vet, for
Right.
Weaver County, she's a code.
Right, so are you saying a code enforcement person would do the business licenses?
Enforce the.
Enforcement, if they don't have it.
And we know they're working as a business, yes. And so we're really looking for somebody that's gonna be good to educate our residents first, work with them, have them understand the process, and then enforce, so it's not gonna be the first thing they do. You know, it's been a real learning experience for code enforcement, but we're getting close.
And to clarify, this will bring it up to a total of 3 we will have spoken with.
We need to put in our tick list ordinances that implement permitting and inspection. Because we're going after a contractor, but we've got to write the ordinances that allow us to do it. Okay, that was the last from,
Is that the last from District 5?
you look at my comments before I hand over the floor back to you. Don't be afraid to call Nate or Matt if you got engineering questions. You don't have to go through me, go straight to them. That's all I have.
Okay, so now it's to me, and I just have some quick updates, before we move forward, so, we have gone through the appropriate processes with the district court to approve the interlocal agreement for the Washington Terrace Justice Court. We got immediate approval, which means that any of our residents that get a citation for any purpose will be processed now at Washington Terrace rather than Roy, which is a much shorter drive, more convenient for our residents, so that's excellent. On a separate note, I am heading up, looking into a situation for the most effective enforcement of our parking fines around Pineview, which may or may not stay with Washington Terrace, but that is a separate topic
May I
to come
ask,
down.
is it just criminal tickets that go there, like parking tickets?
It is our justice court.
Okay, so if our code enforcement pushes it and goes to court, they would go to Washington Terrace also.
Criminal and civil will go to our court, is Washington Terrace.
Okay.
So, the impact fee discussion already happened. We, a few of us, Councilmember Hickman, Councilmember Hoagland, and myself were involved in a meeting an interdepartmental meeting about Pine View. There's a lot that I will, and we will be bringing forward in the future, but right now, what I want to update everybody on is that we will be having a lot of opportunities, let's say opportunities rather than problems or obstacles, opportunities. With this summer in Pineview, we will have certain parking lots that will remain closed. It will limit the amount of boats, the amount of visitors for Pineview, and so we are working with a number of different departments to foresee the issues, get out in front of them, and communicate to all parties, because we get tourists not just from the state but from outside, and so we're working interdepartmentally on that. But so a heads up that the court ramp and Windsurfer will remain closed this summer, and we'll get more information out in the coming weeks. So that is just a heads up there. To the city council members, a reminder about the agenda prep process, because still not everybody's following it. So I put the email together, sent it out to everyone. The main point here is that I am looking to protect our volunteer staff. They have not had a weekend because we continue to get things trickling in, and then they're posting on Saturdays and Sundays. And my point of this process is to stop that. By Friday, they are posting. If you have not gotten your documents for the Tuesday meeting or that Monday meeting, if we're having that, by the Thursday prior, your line item gets moved. It will not be put on the agenda, because I will not track you down and I will not make them work on the weekends. Thursday night is your cutoff for documents for items to be on the agenda. And if it's not in, then your line item gets moved to the next meeting. So please keep track.
Yeah, let's talk about that just a titch. I appreciate the discipline and all that, but there will be occasion when something pops up that we may not have stuff and then we are gonna have to have a discussion on whether or not we can get it onto the agenda for a working session.
A working session is one thing. My rule is specific to the Tuesday meeting. That's what's written on the spreadsheet.
Got it.
I don't have it written on the Mondays. I have it written on the Tuesdays.
That is excellent. I have the same question, because it's hard, we work and get it, you see the front of it. Yeah, especially for work sessions. Often I'm finding working is being done to prepare for a work session and to prepare for a document discussion of a work session on the weekend before. These are drafts, they're for discussion. And so as I understand it, as long as you will get that agenda item up there, are we okay to send read aheads like over the weekend in advance of the Monday meeting?
So right now, that procedure is not on Mondays, it's on Tuesday meetings.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can continue to work weekends on things. And that work, that's fine. That's when there's quiet time to prepare some items.
And I was trying to think, if we wrote into the resolution for the committee and the meeting agendas, is that for the Monday meeting that?
I don't know if we're talking about that.
Our resolution.
Municipal code is what you're talking about.
Thank you. The municipal code for our meetings, I thought, and we had emailed this once before, it requires so many people we can put a discussion on the agenda. Is that for Mondays?
Our municipal code says if two of the city council want something placed on the agenda, we can say to do it. So if in doubt, we would pull out the municipal code here and say two of us want to add it to the agenda. Is the way it reads.
So that is that
But-
for Monday meetings, work
It's
session?
for city council is what it says. City council.
Not for the work session.
The purpose is we can say, thank you very much, Mayor, but we're gonna put it on it if we want to.
You can, except our attorney doesn't work over the weekend
Well,
usually, and they're.
well, we literally, the way our municipal code reads, the way the municipal code reads, I believe, is we could decide right now that we're gonna go to put something on the agenda for tomorrow. The discipline part of it is, let's be disciplined to get everything done by Thursday so that the agenda's out. And in an emergency, we might want to add something later per municipal code.
And I would just add though, regardless of the code saying you can add an item. If to agree, you satisfy the public notice requirements, and so you would have to essentially beg our recorder to supplement an agenda on a timely basis. No, and I think actually that 2-member issue is in the rare occasion you have a mayor who for some reason says, no, this may not be on the agenda.
That's
And that's very,
that's the reason.
I have not taken anything off an agenda unless it did not meet the requirement, which by the way, I have reminded everybody leading up to.
You're asking us to be disciplined.
I'm asking you on
Be timely.
follow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, be disciplined and get things done timely.
Okay, to protect our volunteer staff specifically. Absolutely. So that one's that. April office hour sign up. If you haven't signed up, please do. Chad, obviously you are not here present, so you are stuck with the remaining dates. Just kidding.
There's 4 left, Chad, you get them all.
So there are those 3 that,
There's 3.
so anyway, just make sure everybody is signed up for that so I can get that up and posted. A reminder that tomorrow's city council meeting is at 12, not 6. It is at 12. The last thing I'm gonna bring up, and as my parting gesture is, because this just came up this morning. I am calling for a joint session meeting between our city council and our planning commission to clarify a number of things that are not clear between the two public bodies. So in order to not disrupt the planning commission's schedule, I have called for it to be tomorrow just prior to theirs. We are also meeting tomorrow. We meet at 12. Technically, our meeting's from 12 to 2, they meet at 3. Our meeting won't take the whole 2 hours, it shouldn't take more than 15 minutes. But I have requested that joint session be at 2:30, so just prior to their meeting, so that we can get this accomplished and they can move into their meeting. So that's a heads up, that's new information for you all, it'll be new information for the planning commission, as it just came up this morning. Thank you very much. So it was publicly posted according to the deadline, and now that I've informed you all, I will also have Brian and Corbin inform the planning commission. So we will have a special meeting tomorrow at 2:30, joint session with the planning commission. Chad is traveling, he won't be able to do it, but he can zoom in. Special meetings are done in a way that if people cannot attend, it is still noticed to them that there is a meeting, and if they can't attend, they can't attend. We should have that form. Does that make sense, everybody? Questions, comments?
Is there an agenda for tomorrow?
There is one agenda item. It is to clarify the relationship, coordination, and procedures between the two separate public bodies. Okay.
Who is doing the clarification?
We have Brian and Corbin participating, and I am leading the meeting.
Okay.
Any other questions, Brian? That is my last public comment from the mayor. So with that, then that actual agenda item, next up is the closed meeting as needed. So closed meetings require a specific legal basis and a public vote to enter into a closed session. Only permitted topics may be discussed and action must be taken within that session. So this item is for a closed meeting as needed for the purpose under the Utah law. If a council member wishes to enter into a closed meeting, we will need a motion stating the permitted purpose. Is there a motion for a closed meeting?
I understand there's a litigation potential that we need to discuss in closed session. So I therefore make a motion to enter a closed meeting as allowed in UCA 52-4-25 for the specific permitted purpose of discussing a potential litigation.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Chad, is that an aye or an nay?
That's an aye.
Okay, so that is a unanimous aye, there are no opposed. So we are gonna move into closed session, so for everyone in the room, how this is going to work. We specifically put the closed session into the end of the agenda so that there is nothing further discussed when we come out of it. But we will be coming out of it to adjourn this meeting. But to go into closed session, everyone in the audience must vacate the room. So we'll need, thank you very much for participating, and we're gonna need to close up these doors in between. This is the
I'm
only.
gonna put action
Yes,
on
ma'am.
that letter that's coming out to District 5. Did it get mailed to our street address or our PO box?
Do you know the answer to
I
that?
do not know the answer.
Because we won't get it if it went to our street address.
I do not know the answer to them.
I believe what he
We'll find
did,
out, okay.
if I'm not mistaken, he mentioned he got the addresses from what's publicly recorded with the parcel number, so whatever that might be.
Hopefully it's your box.
Well, should your PO box,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
So, but we can find out, let me know. All right, thank you guys very much. And if you guys leave your contact, if you had wanted to speak with us afterwards, please leave your contact, we'll contact you, ladies, if you wanted to talk with us, we'll contact you to follow up. Thank you very much. Kathy, we're gonna need to remove people from keep everybody else if they wanna stay on Zoom, but we're going to black out audio visual Zoom and move to our recorded meeting for the closed session.
And do I need to jump over to the closed session now, or can I stay here?
You cannot stay here.
You guys move the team for it, you out, Chad.
Gotta
Sorry, I
go.
didn't hear that. Say that
You
again?
must go to the other one.
Okay, thank you. I'll do that. Wait till I get on there.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we are outside of the closed session and back into our public meeting. I will take a motion to adjourn.
So move the adjournment.
I have a motion to adjourn from Councilmember Hickman. Is there a second? Second. Second from Councilmember Hoagland. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm not sure whether or not Councilmember Booth is on, so we have 4 ayes. The motion is approved. We are adjourned. It is now 4:17 for the record.